The West Virginia legislature wrapped up its 2026 regular session Saturday night. The legislature passed 303 of over 2,000 bills introduced. Lawmakers took the unusual step of approving the budget bill a week before the end of the session, a step they took to give the legislature time to respond to any line item vetoes issued by Governor Patrick Morrisey, according to House Finance Chair Vernon Criss. Criss says he and Senate Finance Chair Jason Barrett wanted to avoid a repeat of last year's budget, where Governor Patrick Morrisey vetoed over 24 items approved by lawmakers.
He vetoed 29 items and seriously did some damage to some areas of government as far as dollars available that could have been used during this year, primarily in the highway department.
Lawmakers added $125 million for highways to the governor's requests for the budget, a bill that would have adjusted the school aid formula and given additional funding for special needs students passed both houses, but didn't get final approval from the House on Senate amendments before the midnight deadline. Rayleigh's Law, a bill that would keep parents being investigated for child abuse and neglect from pulling their children out of school for homeschool, also didn't make it across the finish line. We'll have more on West Virginia's 2026 legislative session later tonight.